what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel, Best Bites Forever. I'm Chef Alicia, and today I am making a subscriber request for guacamole. Thank you so much MJ 2.0 for making the request, and let's go do it.
Starting off here with 12 small avocados, I'm going to cut like 4 or 5 in half at a time, and I'm going to put them through my food processor, which I'll show you in just a second. To remove the pits, I like to just pull back around the pit and then just kind of pop it out, but if you want to use your knife, that's okay too. But I would say that it's a better idea to put a napkin or a cloth napkin or something into your hand to protect your hand, because I have seen a few people get cut doing it that way. Anyway, the peel of the avocado should come right off, but sometimes you get an uncooperative one like I have here, but that's no problem. If that happens to you, just take a spoon and it will scoop right on out of there. So again, I'm going to do like 4 or 5 of them. The reason I'm only doing a few at a time is that I don't want them to turn brown because they oxidize really easily. So this is a 1/4 cup of lime juice going into my food processor, and that is freshly squeezed lime juice. And then I'm just going to use the shredder blade in my food processor, and I'm using the smaller side of the shredder blade. If you don't have a smaller side, the bigger side is fine too, and you can also do it on a box grater. Once I get all of my avocados shredded, I'm going to go over here to my cilantro, and I'm using like 8 to 10 sprigs, but I am removing the stems and only keeping the leaves. So now I'm just going to put the leaves into a nice neat little pile, and then I'm going to chop them. When I chop herbs, I usually only go over them one time going this direction, and then I kind of just chop across them once or twice. I don't like to chop my little herbs to death. If you're chopping your herbs and when you move them off of your cutting board, there's like a lot of green color on your cutting board, you're probably over chopping, because that's the oil coming out of the herbs, and we don't want that. We want the oils in our food. So I've added this to my avocados, and I've covered it really well with plastic wrap. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up this red onion, and I'm just going to dice this first by going this direction, kind of like making little planks with my red onion, and then I'm going to cut in the other. Oop, that was a mistake, but that's okay. We'll just set that over to the side. I am going to cut this direction now, kind of like making little French fries, and then I'm going to go back the other direction and make it into a nice little dice. Going to put that in the bowl with my avocados and move right on to my tomatoes. You can see that I am removing the seeds out of my tomatoes. I realize that this is a preference, but they are just a little bit bitter to me, and I don't like them in my food, so I take them out, and again, I recommend that you take them out too. I'm doing my small dice here on my tomatoes, and then I'm going to put them in the bowl, and again, keep the plastic wrap right on top. Moving right along to my jalapeno, and you'll notice that I'm wearing gloves. That's because I'm very sensitive, and I'm removing the seeds and the ribs as well, and then I'm just going to cut these into pretty fine little strips. They're like this thick, as you can see. Once I get all of my little strips cut, I'm going to line them up in a neat little pile, and I'm going to cut them into a dice like so. After I get my jalapeno all diced up, I'm going to go ahead and add him into the bowl, and again, it is really, really important to keep the plastic wrap directly on your avocados. This is my cumin going in, and I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoons along with like 2 teaspoons of kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper. Do that to your own taste. Once I have everything in there, I am going to give it a nice little stir until everything is well combined. And again, I am going to put some plastic wrap right on top of this. I like for my guacamole to sit for at least 30 minutes before I serve it, which is why it is so important to place the plastic wrap directly on top of it. We don't want it to turn brown. You want it to keep this beautiful flavor. And here it is, all plated up and ready to serve. And I just served mine with some chips. I hope you all enjoyed this recipe. Happy cooking!